we are telling the stories in many, many ways. It's not one story. We are telling the stories in feature films, in TV series, whether it's scripted or unscripted, in documentaries. We're telling stories with our games business, and we have a strong games business, probably the only really traditional media company who has games. We are telling sports stories, and last but not least, we are telling animation, animated stories, and news. Yeah? I mean, as you know, CNN is, besides the BBC, the only really global player in news. That's the breadth of our storytelling. That's the breadth of our content business. And beside this breadth, that's what we try is, and I see that as a triangle of success, the breadth of our content business, but also the relevance and the quality. Yeah. HBO is the home of quality. I mean, everybody, if you talk to people on the street, wherever in the world, and you say, what's your association with HBO? People say quality. That's our strength. And this whole storytelling, that's our vision, that's our mandate, that's our meaning. And aligned with that content strategy is also, call it distribution monetization strategy. We never believed that putting everything, all of our content, all of our stories, into one window is what consumer wants, nor is it a good business model. We are not a one-trick pony. We are really also on the distribution monetization side, a very broad company. So yes, we 100% believe in the theatrical business and in exclusive theatrical windows. We believe in home entertainment. When people want to watch it at home, whether digital or whether still with the old-fashioned DVD, that's fine for us. We are telling also, we are distributing our content in all of the TV networks, whether it's streamed or free-to-air broadcasters, what we have a lot in Europe, or our pay TV channels, that's fine. And not only that, we are also not a closed shop. We are also selling our content to third parties. So that's really our strategy, to maximize the reach and also the value of the content. And these two things, on the one hand, the vision, the mission, our content company mindset, together with this distribution monetization strategy, this goes hand in hand.
I think there is this, there's this supposition that international may not be front of center for Warner Bros. Discovery for various reasons. I want to get your perspective on that. How important are international businesses to Warner Bros. Discovery, and how important is this region?
Look, it couldn't be more far from the truth.
Right.
Especially for us, international is a huge, important factor. I mean, naturally, if you want to be a global player, international is naturally a significant part of your business. We are not reporting domestic versus international revenues, so I can't talk about numbers. But it's really also significant when it comes to the amount of people are working for us, the revenues we have, and our strategy. Because, we have talked about that in so many APOS conferences. Asia is not one region. It's whatever you want, 5 or 6 or 7 regions. And that's the reason why we said, okay, we have really great executives here, and we put, we differentiated Asia in 2 regions. The one region, headed by Clément Schwebig, is INSEAD, so it's really Southeast Asia, it's India, it's Korea, and the other one, what we call Western Pacific, is Japan, Australia, and China. And also in the development of these 2 regions, they are in 2 development steps. In Japan and Australia, we are much more in terms of local partnerships currently, whereas in Southeast Asia, as you know, we have HBO, we have HBO Go. Yeah?
Right.
So that will be the first step when it comes to how we go to a streaming universe in Asia. First will be the Southeast Asia partnership here.
Got it.
But especially when it comes to streaming, as you know, we have 2 products now in parts of the world, in most parts of the world. One is HBO Max, and the other one is Discovery Plus. And the task really which we will do next year, is to bring these two products into one product. And these two are really, from what we believe, very complementary. Yeah? I mean, I don't like this description, but if you describe these two differently, then it would say, okay, HBO Max is really the acquisition motor, it's the appointment viewing, it's the lean forward service, whereas Discovery Plus is the lean back. It's really the engagement model. There's a huge amount of engagement at Discovery Plus. So the fandom business on the one hand, and the genre dome business, how GB Perret, our global streaming leader, called it, on the other side. This bringing two together, that's the task of next year. And then from 2024 on, we will, as planned, launch in different markets, in additional markets.
What are the key sort of success drivers? How are you defining success for your teams in this region for 23? What does it look like? And beyond 23?
I'm glad that you say beyond 23, because our thinking goes way beyond 23. First of all, I'm going first to general how success looks like, what we believe, and then go to these regions. First of all, the headline is quite simple. We want to be a top 3 media player, a global player. Yeah?
Right.
That's the headline. But what does it mean? It means several things. First of all, it means that we have to get the transition from the analog, the linear world to the digital world right. Now, this transition is not binary. It's not from one day to the other. It's a process. And every single media company, also us, had to get and has to get this transition balanced from a timing perspective, from an investment perspective right. Linear TV will be here longer than a lot of people believe. Yeah? Linear TV is not that. But of course, the trend goes to streaming, the trend goes to digital, and we are there. So we have to really offer our consumers, our viewers, our fans, both options where they want to consume our content. That is number one, to get this transition right. The second thing is also very clear, and this is also true for everyone in the media world. We have to prove our investors and the market that being successful on the streaming side doesn't exclude that you are financially responsible.
Right.
I mean, we know this message. It was maybe a year ago, you would have seen that differently, but the market spoke a very clear language. Yeah? It's very clear. That's it. So it's not about how David Zaslav calls it. It's not about how much. It's about how good.
Right.
So that's the first thing. And the third thing is success looks like for us if we continue to develop a great slate of feature films also in the next years, a great slate of fantastic scripted programs like House of the Dragons, like Euphoria, and we have a lot of plans there. This is, as I said before in the beginning, this is our mission, and that's how for us success looks like. If we get, doesn't have to be every year 48 Emmys, but it should be a good amount of Emmys, because that will prove that our strategy of relevance and quality is the right one. Now, when it comes to Asia, it's very clear that this combination of Discovery Plus and HBO Max in the future and HBO Go into one service, this is also the next step when it comes to the digital side and here in Asia. Yeah?
Got it.
I mean, David and Gunnar and GB Perret said that at the result announcement in August, beginning of August. The plan is very clear to have these products together in the US in the summer next year, then comes Latin America, then it's Europe, and then comes the first step in Asia. That's our plan going forward.